Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines. And most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And I say that before every single show. And what I mean by that is I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice-a-week long-form podcast, because I want to talk to the right individuals who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve. So you can take that, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. Happy Friday, everybody. This is a complete impromptu show here. Corey Buchan, TGIF. I had some stuff going on this morning, and I didn't know if I was going to be back in time to go live today. And yeah, everything's good. And I got back, and I was going to do some Q&A stuff, but I thought on my drive back in to the office, why don't I show people how I personally prospect shippers? Since that is like a very common question that I get out there all the time of how do I find shippers? How do I prospect them? Where do I even start? And I think that, I just decided on my drive in, you know what? I'm just going to show people, because I think that in today's day and age with, the desire to have technology, the desire to have all this stuff out there, not everybody has the funding to pay for it, right? Because like I've talked about in the past, I personally utilize a lead generation software that's out there. And but I pay for it, but I can afford to pay for it. And I wasn't always in that position. So how did I find shippers before I had all of that out there? And I used my good old friend Google to do all of this stuff out there. Google and an Excel spreadsheet. And let me start a blank document here so I can just show you guys what I do. And we will get this all up and rolling. Because if you have an Excel spreadsheet, if you have a internet connection, which I would assume you guys all have an internet connection if you are watching this show right now. But I'm just going to show you how I used to do it for when I had no budget at all. Robert Cowton, what is up? Good morning. He said, Andy, yeah, man, Andy Elliott is great. I've followed him for a while. My favorite line that he says is if you're going to work, like either you have a six pack or you're fired, I believe it was his line. I laughed hysterically at that. And I'm a huge fan of Andy Elliott and what he does out there. Let me see here. Parker Cheney, good morning, my man. I appreciate that. But here, you guys, I'm going to show you what I do. And this is just a simple Excel spreadsheet here. I'm just going to share my screen here quick. All right, we're going to do this, share the screen, and what do we got here? Book one, Excel. There we go. Perfect. All right. So this is just a prototypical Excel spreadsheet here. And this is, again, if you can afford lead generation software where you have API connectivity out there, use it. It's great. But if you're bootstrapping your organization, if you're out there and you're like, I don't know how to develop customers, I don't know where to start, I don't have the money to do and pay for any of that stuff out here, this is how I did it. All right. So this is an Excel spreadsheet. I started it just like this. I got the company listed right here. I got the contact name. I got the email and just notes, right? Just plain old notes out here. And then I got a color coordinated system. This yellow here is you can put it in of, hey, they're not adding anybody right now, or reach out at a certain time. And then green obviously is a go. Hey, we talked to the person and we're going to continue to follow up with them like that. So this is just a very basic structure that I used back in the day. And frankly, I still use. I am more comfortable with an Excel spreadsheet than anything else. So then all I would do on top of this, now let's see here. We got this blank tab here. I am going to try and share that now. Let me see here. What else can we do? Sorry, I'm not a tech company, you guys. I'm just a dude who's trying to figure this out on the fly. Now let's go over to new Google. Perfect. All right. So you guys saw the Excel spreadsheet that I had up there. And now how do I export any of this information and find a lead, right? Like how do I find a lead? So it's as simple as this. You can go plastic shippers, boom. We'll go plastic shippers, Gilbert, Arizona, because I actually do this still to this day, right? And then I'm going down here and I'm looking at this map right here. And let me see here. Pacific Plastic Technology. This looks like somebody who might fit inside of my prospecting area if I want to go in with this. And all right, perfect. So I know where they're located at. They do custom injection molding. Now, all I would do is I would take that company name out there. I would bring that over to my lead list that I had on my Excel spreadsheet. And then I would put their phone number on there, and then I would just call them. And then and why I say this is if you want to go after plastic shippers, for example, like you just click on this thing right here, and it's got 15 more that are out there, right? And again, like this is all within a couple of minutes here, you guys, that we're able to go in, and now you got a day's worth of calls that you can make just in the Phoenix area. All right, and this is free. Okay, at the end of the day, this is now obviously, like I said, if you can pay for lead gen software, pay for lead gen software, but not everybody can afford that. I couldn't afford that early on. And I'm going to be honest, I have still found this to be more effective to just do it this way. And now, again, all right, say you're in Wisconsin, because that's where your boy's from. And I'm going to put this in, we'll go Eau Claire because that's where I went to college out there. Cheese manufacturers, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Big Poppy barbecue sauce. Fuck, I might even just solicit them. Oh, man. Let's see here. And then, all right, Old Dutch Foods. All right, perfect. Now you go down here, and now there's 15 more. If you're looking for food shippers or food suppliers out there in the state of Wisconsin, boom, there you go. There is 15 leads that you can go after right now. And now, let's go Otter Foods here. Let's see a little bit about them. All right, they make cheese. Explore their little snacks here. Something like, if I'm looking at this, all right, those look like little retail areas. So chances are they're going into a retail location with this, or they're going into a distribution center. So I would know at that moment, all right, going to be a reefer. Based on that, it's going to need, it could be an LTL. You could possibly do a full truckload on this, depending on their distribution network. And if I would call them when I'm speaking to the transportation manager, I would want to know, hey, what's your breakdown of freight that goes direct to consumer? Do you do anything that goes just to distribution centers, or do you go straight to stores on this? Is it an LTL where you're kind of building up that profile with your customers? And all right, perfect. So there you go. You got it here. They're based in Wisconsin, and they're based in Eau Claire. Perfect. Now let's go to the next one. All right, McKenna Foods. It's a bomb looking place there. All right, perfect. Why choose us? Contact. They got cheese. Obviously, it's Wisconsin here. And all right, so they're just based in Eau Claire. And I do that, and I want to go to their contact section right away because I want to find out, do they have multiple facilities out there? Because that changes my line of questioning if I'm going out there. And I want to go and if they have multiple locations, that opens up hey, do you guys ever do product transfers between, your facility in Wisconsin and your facility down in Iowa and stuff like that? And it's not just hey, give me an opportunity to bid on your freight. I highly, highly recommend everybody goes away from doing that style of solicitation. All right. So Frito-Lay here. Obviously, we know Frito-Lay is nationwide. You could go into there with just a laundry list full of questions to go out there. All right, we did McKenna Foods, IFD, Independent Food Distributors, Silver Springs Foods Incorporated. All right, so these guys have multiple different products out there. All right, so they got mustards, and go on that. Look at all right, horseradish mustards. All right, perfect. So same thing. Is this going to be an LTL? Is this going to be direct to, full truckloads into distribution centers out there? Or is this going to, anywhere else besides let me see here. connect. Let's go to that. Social, contact us. Let's see here. All right. So Eau Claire, Wisconsin is where they're located at. They don't have any other locations out there. But again, I want to talk to them about their distribution network. Do they go from production line to a third-party warehouse to store their product there, and then they pick it up at a third-party warehouse and go out there to the Krogers, the Sam's Clubs, the Walmarts of the world as well? So those are just some quick tips, you guys, on how you can do all of this for free. Okay, like none of that out there is proprietary. And again, you start with your Excel spreadsheet and just do some keywords wherever you're located. But I think at the end of the day, let me see here. Troy Fulton, what about FCLs? Full containers? Is that what you're talking about here? FCL? I just truly think that if you're going to go out there and develop business, you don't need to pay for lead generation software. I mean, like, look at all the information that we just found. And I've literally only been going live for 11 minutes. And you could say 7 of those minutes were what we actually spent. And just based on a couple of keyword searches that are out there, you guys can find 30, 40 different leads to go after in your area, right? And again, not everybody can afford to fly out and see places. And if you're local, like, here in Phoenix, I'm in Phoenix. It is my mission to to introduce myself to literally every single shipper in this area. Okay. I want to go out there and introduce myself to everybody. I want everybody to know what I am and what I do. And I think like anybody can do this, whether you are a broker, whether you're a trucking company. It's simple, it's easy, and it's effective. Okay. And I think like we try and overcomplicate what we're actually trying to do. I truly feel that way. Robert Accountant says, my nugget I learned after being a broker since 2008 is if your role is sales, learn and master operations. And if you're in operations, learn sales, understand both sides, long-term success. Couldn't agree more with that. Sunny Sharma, good morning. Happy Friday. Let's go. Sean, the shit freight. That's what you were gonna say. Maybe. I don't know, man. Possibly, Sean. Tracy St. Clair, good morning to you. But again, you guys, going out there and prospecting is not challenging. All right. We want to think that there's an easier way out there. But there's really, you don't need anything more than that. You just need a couple of Google keyword searches. So choose the product that you're going after. And again, a lot of this is geared towards the individuals who are looking for a place to start. All right. Because there's a lot more people out there who are looking for a place to start than want to admit it. But, I talk about the niche all the time on this show. And a lot of that is geared towards if you are starting out and you don't have any kind of clear direction on where to go. Like, again, inside of my operation, we specialize in open deck and heavy haul transportation. Do we move dry van? Of course, we're going to move dry van. If a customer comes to us with a drayage move, are we going to move that? I'm going to work on that. All right. And then just so on and so forth, because I've got experience doing that. But if you don't have the experience out there at all, it's the most effective way for you to go out there and have the same conversation time and time again. That's how you're going to get confidence. All right. You're going to get confidence when you're going out there. And I mean, look at all of those. There was like 7 different food manufacturers in Eau Claire, Wisconsin that are right there. If you were located in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, I would be calling every single one of them. And it's as simple as this, you guys. This is literally what I say when I try and set up a site visit for places. All right. And here in Phoenix. Hi, my name is Chris Jolly. I'm the founder of a local freight brokerage. I was wondering if I could just stop by and introduce myself, drop off a card, and possibly speak to the person who's in charge of your guys' transportation. It's as simple as that. I'm not asking for anything other than the ability to stop by and drop off my business card. They could very well say no in that moment, and some people do. Some people say, hey, we're good right now. But the majority of people are open to it, right? And they'll tell you like, hey, yeah, you can stop by. We're slow right now or whatever it is. And that's fine. I just want them to think of me when they are looking to expand their network of providers, which inevitably it will happen. Not everywhere that I go, that will happen with, but I'm way better off going out there and showing face than not. Okay. And it costs a tank of gas. All right. That's how you have to look at these things, you guys. It's a tank of gas. Choose one afternoon. Get really strategic on where you're going. if you're in a big city like Phoenix here, if you're going to go and be like, all right, this day because like I live in the East Valley, Glendale, Arizona is in the West Valley. It's 50 miles from here. All right, I'm going to set up 3 spots in Glendale where I'm going to go and drop off my card and shake the transportation manager's hand or the receptionist, whomever there. I'm going to introduce myself on this Wednesday, and then I'm going to call all of those places. And it's just as simple as, hey, my name is Chris. I'm the founder of a local freight brokerage. I'd like to stop by and introduce myself next Wednesday and drop off my card, possibly speak to the person who's in charge of transportation, but at least, stop by and introduce myself. Is that okay? Simple as that, you guys. And now that's applicable to trucking companies. That's applicable to brokerages. That's applicable to anything, And did you guys notice that I didn't ask for anything from them about quoting? I didn't ask to say that I could possibly save them money or any of that. I don't do those things ever. All right. I never want that precedent set early on because I want to find the cost savings that I can deliver to them inside of their operations, because that's really where it's going to identify itself. Because frankly, none of you are going to beat JB Hunt's asset pricing. All right. Not one person on that's listening to this is going to beat that price. All right. And you need to take that into consideration. Again, sell on the value. Sell on the value of what you know. And if you don't know, it's a really simple response. Hey, you know what? I'm not sure about that, but I can look into it and get back to you. Are you okay with that? No harm, no foul there. All right. So as we're going into this weekend here and we're trying to think of ways of how do we develop more business? How do I pay for these things? Because there's a lot of people out there who don't have the resources to do all of that stuff, and they're stuck in a standstill, and that's just not where you need to be. All right, you can get out there, you can use Google, use the Excel spreadsheet like I showed, and if you're just tuning in right now, the audio replay, or excuse me, you can go to my YouTube channel as soon as this is done and rewatch it, and it's a simple strategy that I applied early on when I didn't have the money to do anything. And frankly, I still use the Excel spreadsheet to track all of my contacts. All right. I still do. And then I put little reminders in there of, hey, I spoke to Rebecca on the 17th. She said it was okay to stop by on the 21st and drop off my card and introduce myself. So it's as simple as that, you guys. We don't need to make any of this any more complex. All right. At the end of the day, you're going out there to introduce yourself, and that's all you're doing. All right. You're just going to introduce yourself. You're going to show face, and we don't need to make this any more complicated than that. So that is all I've got for today. I hope this helps you guys. All right. I hope these simple steps of just Googling keywords in cities and then using that information to build up your lead list on to start calling. All right. If you're going to use an email, if you're starting out, I would highly recommend you call people. All right. Get the experience. Cold calling is not dead. Nowhere near the way that some people are trying to make it sound. Site visits are very alive and well. So get out there and just do different than what everybody else is saying out there. If you're going to go on social media and you're going to scroll and see what some people are saying out there, and look at it like this, and you know what? This doesn't even, you can take what I'm saying right now and be like, hey, you're full of shit, and that's fine. But if 90% of the people out there are saying, automate your sales process, don't cold call, only use email, automate this, AI this. If 90% of the people are saying that, do the opposite of that. All right? Do the opposite of that, because that's where the results are going to be. And you look at it like this. Everybody wants that path of least resistance. All right? Nobody wants to get their feelings hurt. I'm a human being as well. I get fucking worked up when I get rejected, just like everybody else does. It affects me just like everybody else does. Okay? I'm a human being. I'm not afraid to admit it. But it's 2 seconds of that, and you're going to be, that's all it takes. 2 seconds of uncomfort. When you're making a cold call and you're a little bit nervous because you're like, what if they answer the phone and they're an asshole? I mean, that's kind of going to be part of it. All right. But here's the thing. People might be short with you on the phone. All right. Right away. But when you come with intent and you come with a purpose on why you're calling, a simple request, most people, the overwhelming majority of people, are going to be open to that, as opposed to the opposite. Yes, Sonny, fuck what social media is saying. My man. But that's going to be it here for today, guys. I hope you guys got value in this. Like I had mentioned, we got a newsletter. All right. Every Friday we drop that one. This one was a market update when I had Jason Miller on last Friday. We created a newsletter on that. Again, I want to earn your guys' subscription to that. So if you guys are hearing this and you're not subscribed, you can go to my website, thefreightcoach.com, to register for that newsletter. It drops every single Friday on that. And as always, if you guys got value in what you heard on today's show, subscribe to the show, you guys. Share it out there to your network, because if you saw value, your network's going to see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And we'll be talking to you soon.